Hello. Today I'm going to start a series of videos that looks at the intuitive way to understand yourself, delivered by the Energy Dynamic Model Academy, and we're going to be reading textbook 1, which is a play, and it sets the context of the whole idea of the energy dynamic model. The energy dynamic model looks at what is beneath our physical form, and it gives a imaginative way of understanding how we work on an energetic way. It's very interesting actually, because we hear all the time about energy, don't we? We hear about petrol energy for cars, electric energy, food energy that we eat, internet, AI type energy, all that sort of thing, fire energy. But we never really talk about our human energy, how as human beings we relate to and can tune in actually to different types of energy. And this has a very, very profound way of how we experience life. What I'm going to do in this first video is I'm going to read the first part of this book, which is only one page. It's only one paragraph on one page. But by doing that, we're going to jump into a very deep understanding of how we work in an energetic manner. So this play opens with Act 1 with a quote from the main character, who's called Prospero. And it says this: Act 1, Energy. Without energy, a human being cannot carry on living. They slowly die. The difference between a dead person and an alive one is not what caused the death itself, but the fact that the person did not have enough energy to heal. Now we can look at that in several different ways. Two ways initially. Let's look at, what does it mean when you die? Okay, it means that you physically die. That's one way of looking at it. And if we have a disease and we don't have enough energy to heal, then our physical body will slowly fall to pieces. That's one way we understand the idea of dying. However, there's another way. If we decide to understand that the human being actually is here, containing within themselves unique talents and preferences and knowledge and wisdom, and really who they are. If we don't operate in a way where that who you are, which is represented by this stick here, is nurtured, and we have enough good feelings about that so we can actually present that and show that to the world around us, then our who you are inside us will slowly wither away, simply because we're not focusing on it. Now that's the good news here. If we learn how to focus and we learn how to use our who we are almost as a magic wand, the who we are part of us, our essence, our real human part of us, our real element, starts to thrive, and we start to build golden good feelings around us, and we can really start to affect the way we experience life. And not just for us, but if we start with us and we start to look at how good we can be, then that filters out and it starts to affect the people around us. Then the people around us, they can start to affect the village we live in, which can start to affect the town we live in, etc., etc. So the Energy Dynamic Model Academy really shows you how to use yourself as the first step in the direction of creating a better world. So I've got a few notes here, and I'm just going to talk about energy initially. Human energy. So the first point is this: what is human energy? Why aren't we taught about it? Who knows? But what I do know is that you can learn all about that in the Energy Dynamic Model Academy. There are 3 different types of energy we can tap into, and those 3 types of energy have different information attached to it. And the information we absorb does define our experience of life. So I'll give you an example. If I'm sitting here making this video, I'm very much focusing on what I know, given who I am in my stick self. So I'm focusing on that. I am doing my best to express that, and I'm doing my best to show this in a kind and humble way so you can receive it in that way, in a very gentle, imaginative modality. If, however, I was doing this from my mind experience, I would be thinking, is this video going to be good enough? Are you going to like this? How long does it have to be? Is my lighting okay? All that sort of thing. Now, although those are important, and I need to have addressed that really before I start the video, now I'm actually doing the video. If I start to focus on that, I will lose the connection I'm hoping I will create by speaking to you in a real human way. I will instead be talking to you as I think I should, and I will lose some of the element of who I am. So depending on the type of energy wavelength almost you are on, you will receive this or not receive this in that way. So if you are listening and understanding that I'm talking to you from my who you are to your who you are, hopefully you'll have a feeling of interest, possibly increased wisdom after you've stopped listening to this video, and hopefully you will feel that you are actually here on this world to show love and to create love, and hopefully you will feel better for it. However, if you're looking at it from a mind point of view, you might be thinking, well, actually, I don't like the setup there, the lighting's too dark, I don't like what she's wearing, all that sort of thing. And you will have missed the human knowledge I'm trying to give to you. And instead, you'll be in your mind, and the information you'll be getting is blah, 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 blah. That's just one way of showing quite quickly what I mean. So the Energy Dynamic Model Academy really focuses on helping you to understand how to keep being really human and not to get too taken over by the mind, because once we get taken over by the mind, and this is represented just by this part of you, this tiny part of you, once we're too focused on this mind part of you, that dominates and it consumes all your attention. So the part of you that's who you are and your good feelings are much more diminished. And that, to be honest with you, is not the way to be in these present modern day times. We need to be fully aware of who we are. We need to be fully out there in a kind and humble way, showing our human alchemy. So let's dig a little bit deeper then. I've got notes here. It says energy, time, space, matter. Now then, so what do we need human energy for? We need human energy because we are living in a place that has mass. So the tables here, the camera's here, I'm here, the sculptures are here. Now, because we are in this element of this space of mass, there is space around these things, obviously. Otherwise, we'd just be one big blob. So there is space between the matter. And because there is space between the matter, there needs to be the construct of time, which makes things in a line. So we go from one moment to one moment to one moment. We're not just in one big moment of everything in it squashed up. Why that is I don't know, but that's how we're set up. We're set up to travel through time every second. And if we can't get through time every second because we haven't got enough energy, or because the body we're in can't do it, that's when we pass away, that's when we die, because we can't get through to the next moment in our body. So that's what we need energy for. So energy propels us through this space-time construct we live in. We'll talk a bit more about that as I read through the play, because we do talk about spiritual energy, which is completely different, because in that zone there is no space, no time, no matter. But for now, as a real person in the real world talking to you today, I need human energy, feel energy, or maybe mind energy to get through these moments. Now, as I've referred to, there are two main sorts of energies that we can use to get through this space-time continuum we live in. One is feel energy, which is all about who you are and your golden fields, and it's a bit like water. So if we connect to that experience of life, if we connect to that type of energy information, we can flow through the events of the day. We can allow them to unfold. Our imagination will work with us so we can see opportunities and do the thing that's good for us and the people around us. If we are having sad feelings and we're in a difficult situation, we will slow down because the energy we are collecting is slow. We will feel sad and we will struggle. But we can rest, we can recuperate, and we can heal. That's what it's like living in the feel energy, and I say it's like water. It's calm, strong, and quiet. And if we can contain that in, I call it our stomach area, in a goldfish bowl of clear water, if we can hold that, which we can, that's how we can float through literally our day. If, however, we're relying on mind energy, and most people are focusing on mind energy, it's a bit more like fire. It's intense, it's short, it's emotional. We need to control things because we can't let things unfold, because we need to keep feeding that fire. I keep needing to get approval. I keep needing to get signals from the outside world to tell me, hey girl, you're doing okay. Hey girl, you're doing okay. I need the wood to be put onto that fire energy that's allowing me to get through time. So it's actually fundamentally quite exhausting because I'm having to keep putting wood on the fire to keep it burning. So I have that energy to get through the day. Another word we could use for energy, by the way, is motivation. So I need motivation to get me through that day. So for example, if I'm in mind, I'll say I'm going to set that target. I'm going to keep going till I get that target. And that's a little bit like me putting lots of wood on the fire, saying I'm going to keep going, I'm going to keep going, I'm going to keep going until I've cooked that meal over the fire. That is exhausting and that is stressful. We can rely much more on water energy. Then we can just flow through the day, let it unfold, and use our imagination to make good decisions as it unfolds. Really powerful, profound, shifting movements. We talk a lot about this in the Energy Dynamic Model Academy. I'm going to say another thing as well about the difference in essence of mind energy, fire energy, and water energy, feel who you are energy. And that's that the feel who you are energy is what heals you. So if you are unwell, or you are not in line with who you are, you feel fragmented everywhere, you'll struggle to heal, because to heal you need to be in your feel zone, where you're feeling okay, as in your situation is safe. You can rest, your body can rest, your body can then use its own energy to heal itself from within. If we were in a stressful state in the mind, that self-healing energy that is within you struggles to become strong enough to actually clear out the disease. If we're in our mind, we have to keep solving the symptoms. We have to keep addressing the symptoms of the disease, because the mind energy fundamentally is just linear. There is no matter there. It's thoughts. And although thoughts are very powerful in the sense that they can lead to actions, if we're focusing on positive thinking all the time, that is not the same energy that can heal you from within in a gentle way. It's just not. And that's why people get burnt out. If you think of the symbolism here, burnt out, fire energy, you're burning your stick self, which is wood. Whereas water, feel how you feel, can nurture and can clean and can give yourself within enough strength to sort itself out. Now then, the next thing I'm going to talk about is a few more steps forward from that. So like I've just been hinting at, if we're in feel who I am energy here in your water energy real world, being a real human being way, you are very much in the present. Your imagination, because you're feeling okay, your imagination is within you, and your brain can use your imagination, as I said, to create good decisions and to create good relationships and to create a better world, because things will unfold and you will be strong enough to walk down that path of true wisdom. But the important point I'm making here is that you will be in the now. If we link this to quantum ideas, if you're in the now, space and time don't really exist, because if I'm in my present now with these things and I'm focusing on these things, it's almost like one present, then another, and then another. Okay? And things evolve. If I'm in my mind, though, because of various different reasons that we look at on the courses, that doesn't happen. In the mind, it's very hard to be in a now, because you're normally in the future setting a goal, or you're in the past remembering normally trauma. So what happens is your imagination goes from within you to up here into your mind, and your imagination is hijacked by the mind, and the mind uses your imagination to project the futures and to go back into the past. So actually you start to travel in time. And because you're travelling in time, there is no form, there is no matter, and there is no space, because you're travelling in time. Okay? Now these are all potentials, but you're travelling in time. So what is happening is that if we're in our mind, we have ideas possibly of thoughts that are not real, because they're travelling around in time and they haven't got a form. What we need to do is we need to acknowledge this, but then we need to bring it into here, and then to embrace it in the now, and understand that if it's in the now, we need to then do something, and that's when that idea turns into an action, into a form. So it's a little bit like the wave becomes a particle. So the wave up here in the mind realm of this mind energy and information, there's infinite possibilities here, the wave. When we decide on one and we make an action, that becomes a form in this real world, which is what happens in the quantum. The wave becomes a particle, and that particle has a form. So it's really interesting stuff, really interesting stuff. And I have a funny feeling that it's the who you are, the element of us, what I would call the real human part of us, that is almost transmuting the potential of ideas up in this mind realm. You could say infinite universes, you could say infinite possibilities, and using our stick self, we then can choose one that's a good option for us, and then we can do that action, and we have then created that into an actual happening in reality. Really exciting stuff once you get the hang of it. So that's quite deep, but this is what these videos are going to be about in this textbook 1 discussions. So that's what I'm going to say about this. So what we need to do to keep ourselves alive, both physically and actually as a human being, we need to be really careful about what energy we're accessing, what information we're bringing in. And we need to understand that if we have and we can connect to the real human, powerful, good energy that's around us, that we understand and we can experience, we start to generate a self-sufficiency, almost ecosystem that we can go around in, and then we can start to spread that good feeling and connect to each other as real human beings. Let me know what you think of this. If you want to do the online courses that are very simple, please contact me. Go to the website www.energydynamicmodel.com. Thank you.